Stop the madness. Keep it 100. The best talk show on the web is here on STMK Radio 100 with your hosts, Shawn L, Let, and Tone the Stone. Come join us from 6 to 8 p.m. Mondays through Fridays. Stop the madness. Keep it 100 with live call-ins, heated discussions about current events, politics, national news, weather, and sports. Join our live online chat room and let your opinion show. Download our phone app. Stop the madness. Keep it 100 on STMK Radio 100. Come join us from 6 to 8 p.m. Mondays through Fridays. The best talk show on the web is here on STMK Radio 100. Call us at 1-866-484-7865. That's 1-866-484-STMK. Stop the madness. Keep it 100.
STMK Radio 100.
Dropping that heat. Dropping that heat on the turntables.
I done been around the world, ain't nobody else that could do it like us with nobody help. When the chips about to fall and I'm back against the wall, know it's only one place I call. All roads lead home. Home. Yeah. All roads lead home. Home. All roads lead home.
Back home and I'm trying to stay. Same crew, I don't like to change. Anything that we've been through, we got through it all like no time to waste. We go right back to the finer things. New goals that we had to chase. Come together, this lasts forever. I wouldn't be here without the game. Been around the world, everybody looking at me like another path to take. I don't know it all, but I know the homies looking at me like I had to wait. So I tell them all what I see, then I tell them all what I hope to see. Tell them all when I'm home, I'll be bringing all of that home with me.
I done been around the world, ain't nobody else that could do it like us with nobody help. When the chips about to fall and I'm back against the wall, know it's only one place I can call. All roads lead home. All roads lead home. Gotta make a comeback. Can I get a hand while I unpack? How could you forget that I'm from that? Steps to the last of the combat. Throw me to the jungle, come back with gold. To take my place as king of the throne. And I don't mean wrong, but I'm coming strong. When I'm on the road and I'm coming home. Stuck in the middle of nowhere. Times I wish I could ditch and go there. Grant the wish I'm dependent on what I'm chilling for. I won't need it more, yeah. Honestly, I'm not just anybody. I know I go hard as anybody. Say my goodbyes and hellos, cause all them roads lead home. I done been around the world, ain't nobody else that could do it like us with nobody help. When the chips about to fall and I'm back against the wall, know it's only one place I can call. All roads lead home. All roads lead home. So if you with me, let me know. Let's bring it home. They know we always on the go. We bring it home. So if you with me, let me know. Let's bring it home. You should've knew it from the go. All roads lead home. Welcome to my city. Welcome to my city. The only place I know. All roads lead home. Welcome to my city. Welcome to my city. The only place I know. All roads lead home. Welcome to my city. Welcome to my city. The only place I know. All roads lead home.
Far too many of us want to throw in the towel before we've thrown up the prayers.
Dr. Tony Evans says Christians have a habit of underusing or overlooking our most valuable spiritual resource.
Grace is available, but only at the throne, and you can only approach the throne through prayer.
You can deepen your connection with the Lord through our in-depth course on Kingdom Prayer at the Tony Evans Training Center. You'll discover how God has wired the world to work by prayer and experience for yourself how it connects heaven with earth and time with eternity. You'll not only gain a new understanding and appreciation for prayer, you'll actually pray in transforming ways you've never experienced before. The course is intense, but you can work through it at your own pace and get all the help you need through our online forum. And, of course, there's custom content from Tony not available anywhere else. Connect with the Tony Evans Training Center at tonyevans.org. It's like having a seminary on your smartphone or other device. Start today. tonyevans.org.
For a limited time, save up to 30%. Plus, through Thursday, save an additional 10% on already reduced prices. Or get 0% interest for 6 whole years. Ashley Home Store. This is home.
Razor blade to heartstring. Who you tryna fix now? Broken record left on repeat. Another build up to the letdown, steady speeding to a new pain. Tragic collision on a 110. Damn, I wish that you would slow down, 'cause maybe then you see it coming. I'm saying, hanging on every word. Tequila shots, the balance, all the sweetest lies that they can burn. How long will you wait and will you take before you give up? Bones are meant to break and heal, hearts are meant to break and learn. You're way too smart for this, but your problem is you don't know better, babe. It's so much better, babe. Running to the darkness, but you're looking for the light. Searching through the city for what's been here all this time, babe. Too much not to be 100 with you. You deserve the world, let me run it with you. You know we always been connected, I ain't perfect. Maybe you should always feel protected, I'm saying. Have you ever had a real man, baby? You ever had a real man like me? And I know baby, you know you deserve better. You deserve it all.
You're listening to Stop the Madness. Keep it 100 with your host, Shawn L, Let, and Tone the Stone on STMK Radio 100, 100, 100.
Yes, this is a PSA, a public street announcement. You are now listening to a Kickback production. Light up your L's, lean back, and listen.
That gunman as 49-year-old Aaron Luther. They say he did have a criminal history, including attempted murder and assault with a deadly weapon against an officer. It's still not clear why he opened fire here yesterday afternoon. Long shootout between officers and a gunman.
Something out of a movie. Shots started being fired from both directions.
Just afraid of being attacked. Happens to the best. Don't ever forget what happened to that French actor. You know what I'm talking about? Juicy Smouillet. He's a very famous French actor. Y'all never heard of Juicy Smouillet? Juicy Smouillet is an actor from France. And he became famous on a show called Empire. One night, he was in Chicago late at night and was the victim. He was the victim of a racist and homophobic attack. You see, Juicy Smouillet is gay and he is black, not just French. Oh, it was a crazy story. Apparently, when he was walking down the street late at night, two white men came out of the shadows with MAGA hats on. Tied a rope around his neck, called him all kinds of niggas, and put some bleach on him and ran off into the night. This shit was like international news. And everybody was furious, especially in Hollywood. It's all over everybody's Twitter feed and Instagram page. Justice for Juicy and all this shit. The whole country was up in arms, just talking about it all the time on the news. And for some reason, African Americans, we were like oddly quiet. We were so quiet about this shit that the gay community started accusing African American community of being homophobic for not supporting him. What they didn't understand is that we were supporting him with our silence. Because we understood that this nigga was clearly lying. None of these details added up at all. He said he's walking down the street in Chicago and white dudes come up to him and say, "Hey man, aren't you that faggot nigger from Empire?" The fuck? Does that sound like how white people talk? No white people, they don't talk like that. Are you that faggot nigga from Empire? They would never say that. It sounds like something that I would say. If you're a racist and homophobic, you're not even gonna know who this nigga is. You can't watch Empire. Black people never feel sorry for the police, but this time we even felt sorry for the police. Can you imagine if you was a police veteran taking this kid's police report? Okay, Mr. Smoulier, please tell me what happened. All right. 2 a.m. We left the house at 2 a.m. It's minus 16 degrees. Right. You were walking. You're walking. All right. And where were you going? Subway. Sandwiches? That's when the men approached you? Did you see them? You have any? Okay, what do they have on? MAGA hats! MAGA hats on in Chicago? Excuse me 1 second, Mr. Smoulier. Frank, come here for a second. Find out where Kanye West was last night.
Championship plays on Sirius XM. The Alabama Crimson Tide. Intercepted Alabama. Mack Wilson, he's going to take it in. The Georgia Bulldogs. We're headed to Atlanta. Kicking off Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, and ESPN Radio 84 has live on-site coverage from Atlanta beginning at 7 a.m. Eastern. They'll take you on the field and into the locker room for college football's biggest game. Play-by-play and unmatched coverage is on ESPN Radio Channel 80 and ESPN Radio Channel 84. Computer and smart device. Progress never stops, and neither do you. You need to hear the latest news, commentary, and interviews. Download the free app with your all-access subscription and stream every Progress show no matter where you are. Anywhere, anytime. We're here. Active, essential, progressive, Sirius XM Progress.
You're listening to Stop the Madness. Keep it 100 on STMK Radio 100, 100, 100.
Now, if you and I leave it up to the moderate Negro leaders, they'll be able to trick it up and make the world think that they passed something that doesn't really mean anything. So what you and I have got to do is get involved. You and I have to be right there breathing down their throat. Every time they look over their shoulder, we want them to see us.
Hey, welcome everybody to Studio 51. Tone the Stone, what's up with you?
Shawn L, what up?
Hey.
Prince, what up?
I'm here.
Prince,
Saxman, what up?
Saxman in the house. What's up, Saxman?
Hello, how are you? You ain't even gave me no mic. See,
you got your mic, Saxman?
He back to the same crap he was doing when I left.
I hear you. I can hear you.
I can't hear me.
He's consistent.
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yeah, it's probably your headphone. But, hey, you know, at least I'm consistent right there. Hey, we want to thank everybody for being with us for Season 4. Our 48 citizen seats and our 48 cities is with us. Our sister, Barbara Coast Radio, Facebook Live, Snapchat, Atlanta, L.A., Oklahoma, New York, and Columbus, Ohio. You can catch us on USTREAM TV, Pluto, and SoundCloud and Mixcloud. And you know, right here, you can see your boy Shawn L tell his story on Podcast Nation on being black and proud and leaving it all on the playing field. Urban Buffalo Soldier. Hey, I want everybody to understand that we really appreciate y'all coming out here, being with us. Tony Stone, season 4 is kicking off real good.
Glad to be here. I'm glad to be back on the air.
Oh yeah,
Can't wait to see what we got in store for the season.
Oh, the season is gonna really rock, and right there we got we got our man Saxman.
Where you been? You said you happen to be back on air. Where you been? Out of town in Vegas or what?
You know, Tony.
I've been
always
around.
running.
I've been around.
He still chasing them young girls, man?
I like them all ages and
See,
shapes and
there you go.
sizes.
He ain't never honest about nothing.
Well, last I heard he was millennial, so.
Right. Hey, and in Studio 51 with us tonight is the professor himself. He flew in from the ATL Prince. What's up with you?
I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here. I'm in Cleveland. Am I?
Yeah, you are in Cleveland.
What part of Cleveland? I don't know which part.
I can't say.
You can't say.
You know, I want everybody to understand this. You know, so much is going on. We're going to start right there. You know, we got an impeachment inquiry going on right now, Prince. You know, our president has got us in Russiagate 2. And I want to say it's the fault of our voters, okay, for not taking the Mueller report very seriously, okay? And what did the president do? He came back and did the same thing. This time he just put it in your face. Okay?
Right in your face after July 25th.
You know, the whistleblower, he's an American hero. And everybody has to understand that and take him as an American hero, because if it wasn't for him, we will be right back in the same soup that we just climbed ourselves out of.
Do we know who the whistleblower is?
Well, no, you know, if Trump know who the whistleblower is, you would never know who the whistleblower is, but I do believe he's going to come to Congress and he's going to testify. Everybody has to understand is that Trump is the president of the United States. There's no way he don't know who the whistleblower is, okay? We might want to believe that, but there's no way. Now, going to do something to him is a different story. But Trump is going to get the people around him who told the whistleblower what's going on, okay? Because the whistleblower, in his statement released today, it's clear that he didn't actually listen to the phone calls.
That's correct.
That somebody told him, and he talked to top White House officials.
That's correct.
Okay, which means it's not going to be very hard for Trump to find out who putting a knife in his back. Because you look at this right here, and I want everybody to understand this, that the Ukraine president said that he'd like to thank Trump for his support and in the area of defense, and that military aid is needed, and he wanted to buy more Javelin missiles for his defense. Trump said, that's good, but I want you to do me a favor. That's a quick poke pro.
I think so.
Yep.
Okay. When you come to me and tell me that you want me to do something for what I'm going to get, that's you telling me, hey, you got to do this if you want this, okay? And everybody has to understand that words have meanings.
Yes, it does.
Okay? Words have meanings. And let's not forget the Mueller report, as I said earlier. The Department DOJ reviewed this, but his attorney general put his foot back in it again. Okay?
Once again.
And he refused to see any charges. But this is the problem I have right here. The law is very clear with the DNI. When Inspector General, and I want everybody to understand this is a Trump-appointed Inspector General, okay, who reviewed the complaint, found it credible, found that it was a serious incident, and said that it should be referred. He referred it to the
Congress.
No, he referred it to the Department of Justice Criminal Bureau for charges, okay? He knew it was the president, okay? The DNI should have followed the law and forwarded it to Congress within 7 days. But what he did, he took it back to the White House, okay? They say Barr wasn't involved, but Barr had to be involved, okay? And I believe that the people in the Justice Department did not want to go back through the Mueller stuff that they just got through, so they tried to bury it.
Okay.
Okay? But this is where I have a problem with Trump at and the people that he put in office right here. And they're supposed to be the best, okay? Is that how you're going to bury something when the whistleblower has 7 days for you to take action on it, and if you don't take action on it, they can go to Congress themselves. Now, Prince, tell me something what's going on with that.
Well, Shawn L, and good evening, everybody out there. He raised a lot of good questions there, but I'm going to take you back and I'm going to bring you forward here. So let me get my reading glasses on here right quick, and I'm going to give you something. For those out there that speak Latin, I'm going to say it in Latin, then I'm going to break it. I'm going to translate it for you, okay? So here we go.
Come on with it.
I'm going to come on with it.
I think it's Omarosa.
He wish it was Omarosa.
Yeah, what's that, Omarosa? Okay.
I think it was Omarosa. They should have snitched on him.
Here we go. Necia autumn quid antem quan natus sis assideret id essemper esse purum quid enim is aestis amadis nisi id memoriam rerum veteran cum superium aete contextutur. In English translation, that means to be ignorant of what occurred before you were born is to remain always a child. For what is the worth of human life unless it is woven into the life of our ancestors by the records of history? It's all going to be recorded, guys. Everything was going to come out. What's been done on the sun will be done again.
And if you look at this, what I want to say is that Bear Barb has shown his loyalty to the president one more time. And he got life messed up because he's the president of the people of the United States. He's not the president's personal lawyer, okay? And when the president went out and got Rudy Giuliani to go over there to do his dirty work, which I'm going to say this is my stuff here, okay? Because he went outside the Justice Department. He went outside government and got somebody to do his dirty work, okay? His bag man. I'm going to call Rudy the bag man.
Okay.
Okay. And he sent Rudy over there to do his dirty work. Now, Trump got to be the biggest buffoon in the history of criminals. This is the game that can't shoot straight.
Okay.
Because why would you ask the president of another country to interfere in our elections, okay, when you know that 30 or 40 people's listening on the phone call? He might as well have just went on CNN and did the call on CNN with his cell phone.
I agree.
He thought he was being slick. He thought he was talking in code language where it was going to be too.
Well,
nobody was going to pick it up.
But Tom,
even though it's common sense,
right.
It's obvious. You know what he's coming across, what he's asking for, how he's saying it. You know, a favor for a favor, basically.
But Tone, you know that's what his fixer said. Okay, his fixer said he talks in code, and you know what he means. And everybody understand this. Russia's getting ready to put their foot in Ukraine's ass. Okay, the president know that. Okay, the only thing standing in the way is Trump. And I told you when we had this conversation last time on Podcast Nation, Professor, is that the whistleblower was going to take us to a new level.
Yes.
Okay, and I don't understand what Trump thought he can put this. What they want to call it? I don't even know what to even call the transcript, because the transcript they put out there, they could have put a bigger one out there. Okay, they could have put a better one out. That's something that they did that they have not learned their lesson in the Russian investigation. Okay, in the Russian investigation, if you're going to lie and deny, bring out the facts with it to keep the lie going.
Facts do matter.
Right, facts matter, because once again they lied. Then they put out this. Then the president said, "Yeah, I did it." Okay. Then they put out this transcript. Okay. Before the whistleblower thing. Okay. And all of them read the whistleblower complaint, so they knew what the complaint was.
Correct.
Okay. Now the whistleblower complaint come out, and it's the same thing as the transcript, and the same thing that Trump said. So now, how you going to discredit the whistleblower?
They can't do it. What it seems like, to my understanding and my following of the events after they had just unfolded, it seems like it's an indictment, and this career intelligence person, the whistleblower, put it in such detailed fashion that it really puts Trump in a bad situation right now. And also, too, all his administration, the people who's associated with this, the walls are going to come tumbling down. The King's Men reminds me of all the King's Men with Broderick Crawford, and a remake with Sean Penn.
So you saying Giuliani is going to go down with him?
No, I'm not. I'm saying when I think about when I mentioned all the Kings men, Giuliani is just a fool, and he's been and he's playing the role of the
the middle
well,
bag man.
but Shawn L's want to call him the bag man, but I call him back in the days when the king
The
had
concierge.
issues.
Okay,
the,
wait.
the court jester.
Well,
Shawn,
no, I'm not gonna say that that he's funny because you know why?
Right.
He's doing some serious business.
Yes.
He got Trump out of the Russian investigation, and he threw a mess in there. Okay. He got Trump in this middle thing. The problem with Giuliani is he doesn't know when to get off the cameras. Okay, because he on Como he already put Trump in the thing.
Yeah.
First he said he didn't.
Yeah.
Then Como whoop just
Yep.
like I would.
Yep.
Just like I do. My people come on my show. I get you to tell me what you want, and then when you lie to me, I'm gonna bring it back to you.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
See the difference between CNN and being on Stop the Madness, Keep It 100. See, Prince, if you tell me something, I can tell you you're full of shit. Okay, CNN, you can't do that. They got rules. Okay, so he had to let Giuliani go, and that's why the Republicans get to go on TV and tell those lies because nobody's going to challenge them. And I think that's what we need to do. We need to stop that.
That's what I was thinking.
Okay,
Well, fact check it in real time.
right, and only one person did that when Nina Turner got on there, and Nina Turner started fact checking everybody.
But nobody's holding them accountable for anything they've been doing.
And that's correct.
That's about to change, though.
I've been hearing
That's
that.
about to change.
I've been hearing that for so long now.
That's
I've been hearing that for so long.
What you based that on, that Sax? I mean, when you say,
I mean,
I've been hearing that.
Based on what the whistleblower is saying, they supposed to have him on tape saying stuff. Excuse me. They're supposed to have him on tape admitting, I think, 5 some odd times he supposed to admitted it, and it's like he don't care who knows about it. I'm Donald Trump. I'm the arrogant rich man. Ain't nothing you can do.
Well, he don't care.
So
we concur on that.
He thinks he can't be taken down even from this new information. The Mueller report, everybody thought, oh my God, it's going to take him out, and he was beating his chest. This one here, I don't think he can beat his chest on this.
Well, you know what? If the Republicans have to come on board, okay, I'm gonna say this: long as Mitch McConnell, his left-hand man, is sitting in the head of the Senate, Donald Trump's going to be okay.
Yeah, because the House is all Democrat, and the House want him gone. But the Republicans is the Senate. They the ones going to vote, no, leave him alone.
But see,
and that's his people. He padded the Senate with all his people. That's like I got Sean, I got you, I got this man. Y'all my peoples. Y'all ain't going to turn against me. I'm paying y'all. I'm taking care of y'all. Y'all ain't going to turn against me.
And not only that, see, but we have to understand is this. You know that Trump's in trouble. When they send the Republican talking points, how are they going to call out the
Democratic?
How are they going to call out the whistleblowers and talk about this? They send that to Nancy Pelosi.
Correct. That's correct.
Okay, she got their talking points.
Talking points.
So when you look at the talking points and you look what's going on and you see how everything is coming down the pipe on that, you have to understand that the GOP talked before Trump released the memos. We're going to pull that up in a minute before we go to the phone lines. Okay, Chris Christie put his foot in it.
Oh, yes.
Vice Pence, the Vice President Pence put his foot in his mouth.
Oh, yes.
Because he said, we're not going to take nobody interfering in the election. Chris Christie tells everybody, if Trump say, I need you to do me a favor, he got a problem. Well, what's the first thing to come out of the thing? Trump say, hey, I need you to do me a favor. Okay, so you look at that. The White House moving records around off one server to another server. Okay, they mishandling classified records. And I'm going to say this. Nancy has played Trump like a trumpet. Okay, and this is what they need to do. They can't impeach President Trump.
They're not going to impeach him. And nothing that they're going to do to him, they're going to wait until after he's out of office, and then they're going to lower the boom on him.
No, they can't.
No, I beg to differ there.
They can't get him while he's president right now. They're going to wait because he is not going to make another term.
But they can't get him after office. That's what the problem now. You cannot go after your political foe. So what they're going to have to do is this. The Senate is not going – they're going to impeach Trump. The Democrats can impeach him, but the Senate is not going to remove him.
Right. They're not going to convict him.
We haven't had a president removed from office, so you might as well stop that right there. But this is what they need to do. We got, almost 13 months before the election.
Right.
Okay. What they need to do, they need to keep this impeachment inquiry going and drag it out to March, April, June. In June, start impeachment proceedings.
That's gonna kill his numbers. He ain't gonna make it.
No, listen what I'm saying. In June, do the impeachment trial and vote. In June, the House impeach Trump in June. Force Mitch McConnell to do an impeachment trial. Okay, and guess what? If he doesn't do the impeachment trial right and do it the proper way, guess what's 2 months coming up? The general election.
In November.
So you take this trial all the way out, then you go ahead and impeach Trump, you put it in the Senate hand and make the Republicans stand up. Now, they're not going to remove him from office, but guess what's going to happen? Everybody's going to get so pissed off they're going to come out and vote. Okay? And this is where I'm talking about voting right here. You got a IG that's 15 years DOJ employee lawyer. He's a Trump-appointed person.
Yes.
Said that they broke the law. So there's nowhere to go on that. You know they broke the law. Okay? So you got to run this out. You got to go this. People, we got to get out and vote. We got to take this election serious.
Here's my question though. So the Democrats will proceed with the impeachment inquiry. You know, he won't be removed because the Republicans handle that.
Right.
But shouldn't that mean that if he gets impeached on this first term, like he shouldn't even be eligible to run for a second term?
Well,
it's gonna tie him up.
Well, under the Constitution, if he gets impeached from office, he can come back and run, but the difference is he will not run as a sitting president. Okay. That means that the Republicans or anybody can change up the person they have. See, but what you have going on right now, the Republicans are so far behind Trump because of the white supremacy stuff. They're shutting down primaries. Okay. And everybody is scared to get primary because if you go against Trump, you're going to lose your seat. Okay. Because white people are upset because of the power. Brown people are taking over the United States, okay? So we in this era that we can't believe that we back in, okay? Some call it McCarthyism or however you want to say it, but we are in a true era where brown people, the Mexicans, the Muslims, are the new black people, okay? They're the ones getting their foot put on them, okay? You really don't matter right now. Okay, I hate to say it like that, but that's the way
that means you, Tone.
But it's the truth.
I'm the only one there who can pass for Latino. So
that's a high yellow.
Hey, Tone lucky that ICE don't stop him on the traffic
You
stop
know
and take him back
Right,
down.
yeah. Even the Wesley Snipes and the El DeBarges are all under attack now. So
when you start looking at all this is going on, okay, all this is going on with Trump, and then you start asking yourself why. Then you start asking yourself, how did we get here? And now you got Elizabeth Warren and Biden, okay, going at it. Now I see Biden, as I said earlier, and I'm gonna say this again, and I'll say it later on. I see Biden as becoming your next president because Republicans can vote for him, okay, because he will bring stability back to the presidency.
It gives him a safe place.
And not only gives him a safe place, it puts them in the mind that this craziness will stop.
Exactly.
Okay. Everybody wants this craziness to stop.
Yes.
You know, when we was on the phone lines, which we're going to go to the phone lines in a minute, the craziness have to stop, okay? And you ask yourself, how long can we keep going through this fight, and how long can we keep going through this over and over and over, and each crisis get higher, okay? And Trump took us to this crisis, okay? And he took us to this crisis because nobody, as a kid, if you don't smack his hand and stop him, okay, we let him go with the Russian investigation. So what he do? He goes back and do the same thing again.
Yep.
That's correct.
I told you, the man think his shit don't stink.
Well, it don't.
Okay.
When you look at it,
Tell the truth,
it don't.
It really does. That's what I'm
Right.
telling you.
See, when you look at it, it don't, because when we look at what's going on right now, CNN and everybody, and they had the big hearing and everything. You got a Navy SEAL who's supposed to be a straight shooter, gets in front of Congress and kowtow, okay? Go home, get fired, okay? You only a man one time.
One time.
Okay, when you give up your manhood, you cannot regain that. Okay, when you give up your soul, when you give up the respect that you have, that is not coming back to you. Okay, when you sit there, you got to be mad enough to look over at Trump and say, "Hey, Mr. President, you shouldn't be doing that."
Right.
But we're gonna go to the telephones and we're gonna find out what's going on. So I want everybody to sit back, let the people talk for a minute. Then we're gonna come back to the professor because we got some stuff with this. We got our law enforcement extraordinaire in the studio with us. We're gonna go back to a couple of things because I want to hear about Michael Amiot because he's on trial right now. It's been delayed. We're gonna talk about that, but hold on for a minute. Okay, let's go to the phone lines for a minute here. I want everybody to understand what the GOP came out yesterday and said. Control room, why don't you prompt that up, and then we're going to go right to the phone line.
We have to look at what the context is, right? So, for instance, if he's saying, listen, do me a favor, go investigate Joe Biden, that's one thing.
President Trump says, I would like you to do us a favor, though, asking for Ukraine to investigate matters involving the 2016 election meddling inquiry.
This remains deeply troubling, and we'll see where it leads, but the first reaction is troubling. Clearly, if there were a quid pro quo, that would take it to an entirely more extreme level.
Quote, Republicans ought not be rushing to circle the wagons and say there's no there when there's obviously a lot that's very troubling there.
The States of America will not tolerate any foreign interference in our elections from any nation state, not from Russia, China, Iran, North Korea, or anyone else.
Mark from New York. Welcome. Stop the madness. Keep it 100.
I'm calling because what I wanted to make a statement about is that it's so dangerous, Trump trying to get information on a private citizen, because if the president of the Ukraine couldn't find dirt, couldn't he plant dirt just to get the favor?
That's a good question and comment in the form of a question. Now, he knows what Donald Trump wants. And if he can't find it, and he knows his country's going to be taken over by Russia if the United States don't help him, then yes, he can make something up. And what's somebody going to say? Okay, he's the one investigated. He can make it up and give it to Donald Trump, and that's the national security issue that everybody's bringing up, national security, because he's interfering in our election, okay? And he can make up anything he wants. Joe from Georgia, welcome. Stop the madness. Keep it 100.
My concern is why now? Why he going to look at Joe Biden now? If Joe Biden wasn't running, this wouldn't even be.
Joe, you have to understand this. It's Biden because Biden is leading, and he is scared that Biden can beat him. And I believe Biden will be elected president because moderate Republicans will go vote for Joe Biden. They're not going to do that for Elizabeth Warren or Bernie Sanders, okay? He knows this. And if it's Kamala Harris in the lead, he's going to attack her. And if it's Cory Booker, he's going to attack him. If it's Bernie Sanders, he's going to attack them. So the playbook has already been set by the Republicans. That's why they're canceling primaries. That's why they're getting in line with Donald Trump, because the playbook has already been set that they're going to damage and go after anyone they can, and they're trying to tie it to the 2016 election. And right there, Prince, I want you to tell me what you think.
All right. My thoughts are clear for me in regards to it takes me back, harkens back to the 2016 election. Shawn L mentioned about the servers. They trying to transfer information to one server to another computer system, but yet they drug Hillary Clinton through the mud through most of 2016 about her stuff, having stuff on her email server. And now these new developments came out. It comes down now to the exposure that's being put out there by people who are just tired in the internal administration of Donald Trump. And it brings to mind that of 1974, when those Republicans who had heart, or the Republican Party, when they realized that it was time for Richard Milhouse Nixon to go, and they all marched down Pennsylvania Avenue and told him, so look here, either you can be impeached or you're going to have to resign. And I don't know if they got backbone now to do it here, but it's coming to that. The Senate will come. They will find the strength or moral courage to stop this madness. Okay, there's a plug for the show. Stop this madness in regards to what Donald Trump is doing, because he's undermining the Constitution. And as Shawn L mentioned earlier, they are stopping primaries in several states now, and not to be primaried. It's something that's really kind of scary, because there's about 30-some states to my county that already they're attacking the Constitution and trying to overturn the Constitution of the United States. That is something you really got to give thought to and consideration to.
Well, when you look at the Monument Clause, okay, all the money he's getting,
oh God,
the enrichment. See, I think that it's going to take us to go through 2 presidential cycles to straighten all this out, okay? Because we got to rewrite laws, okay? Like Tony Stone say, if I'm under investigation, I shouldn't be able to control the people who's investigating. If I get impeached or I do something, I shouldn't be able to do certain things. So Congress is going to have to come back and tweak that Constitution, because our framers knew this was going to happen. Our republic will survive.
Yes.
Okay, because 12 months will fly by like that. Okay, and once they lock Donald Trump down on the impeachment inquiry and the impeachment stuff, he's not going to work. There's no more laws and nothing else to be passed or done.
Correct.
Okay,
And
so we're shutting it down. Okay, our hope is that no Supreme Court justice pass. See, we allowed him to stack the courts. He put on 115 federal court judges.
As we spoke about that, yes.
If you look at the rulings by some of those federal judges that he put on the bench that has came to him, you see he's getting ruled in his favor. Okay, he stacked the deck. Okay, they stacked the deck a long ago. Okay, so now we have to worry about them stacking the Supreme Court.
The judges, which almost all federal judges are lifetime appointments, and when you talk about magistrate judges, you're talking about circuit court judges, your 9th Circuit, 3rd Circuit, 11th Circuit, Court of Appeals. You're talking different cases that are going to those particular areas of the geographics of the country, and people's lives and institutions are being under attack. So Shawn L is right in regards to possibly 2 presidential cycles to overturn some of these things. But once those federal judges are put in place in office, it's going to be hard to remove them unless they're being impeached. But it's a tough road ahead.
What 2 presidents that you think that would make a difference, or at least help with the cycle?
Well,
okay, yeah, it's a loaded question there.
You know what? I'm gonna say this.
I got to know.
Okay.
Joe Biden is the one to bring us back to stability. Okay, because he's not talking about blowing up the site, blowing up the house.
Correct.
Okay, Elizabeth Warren is good to also do the thing like that.
You don't think Pence can do anything?
No, Pence is worse than Donald Trump. and believe it or not,
Somebody else said it finally.
I want to say this to everybody. Believe it or not, Donald Trump is just a figurehead.
Yeah, of course.
But Pence and McConnell and all those people behind the curtain is the ones that we need to be looking at.
Correct.
Okay. See, Pence is letting Donald Trump go out because Donald Trump is the clown. Okay. So everybody looking at the clown. Pence is sitting back doing the dirty work.
Of course.
Okay. Pence knows what Donald Trump's doing. He's supposed to be one of the big time politicians and church going people. He ain't sold his soul for nothing. He actually has to get Donald Trump to win this election so he can take over the following cycle. Okay, there's a plan for the Republicans. That plan is in place. Donald Trump win this, they're going to come to Trump and say, hey, you got to go. We're going to impeach you or whatever. Pence take over. Or Pence, once Donald Trump term is over, Pence will run as Donald Trump third term. See, Biden should have actually ran last time on Barack Obama. Okay, but they would have did him the same way. Okay, but it wouldn't have been as bad as Hillary. What's happening right now, what's going to need to be done is that Biden's going to come out your nominee, okay? But what he has to do is something Hillary didn't do. He's going to have to go back to Elizabeth Warren and say, okay, we didn't have our fight. Let's forget about this. Come on and be my VP. And then he would do 2 things. He would get the women vote locked in coalition, and he'd get the progressive coalition locked in. and he would take Wisconsin, Pennsylvania,
and
Michigan. Okay, that's the problem. If Bernie and Bus people are going to really be upset because Bernie is not coming out of this election. But I want y'all to hold on to everything because we got to go. Hold your thought right there, Professor. We got to go pay our bills, and we're going to go into the Blue Room and listen to Young Cali #1 hit. Michael Wilkins is in the chat room. We're going to come back to them, and we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Season 4 is still kicking, and you know what? We are really rolling.
You're listening to Stop the Madness. Keep it 100 on STMK Radio 100. 100. 100.
Dropping that heat. Dropping that heat on the turntables.
I guess I'm on it, baby. Ah, shit. 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 I just touched down in my city and I'm feeling good. I holler at my peoples, haven't seen them in a while. It feels good just to make my little cousin smile. It's Friday night, so you can catch me chillin' uptown. I'm rolling on the mile and shouting, know it's going down. I got my niggas with me, 103 legends, baby. I'm serving all the baby junkies like the candy lady. That's why they fuck with candy. I make the ladies happy. I might just go and get some boy just to hit the daddies. I'm on the island in my zone like my nigga Rabbit. I guess I'm cheeky with it, feeling myself, I'm on it, baby. I'm on another level, I feel like I'm the greatest. I guess the way that I be kicking, bitches fuck with me. These haters stay up on my trail, but they can't copy me. I'm running circles round the game, no monopoly. I do my own thing, nigga, you ain't fuck with me. No. I guess I'm on it, baby. Ah, shit. 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 I told my mama I'ma make it, baby, pray for me. And I won't stop the grind until I see 100 G's. My motivation is to make it, that's on everything. I'm bobbing through the club, moving like a hurricane. She like my lingo that I'm throwing cause it's everything. I love the way you shake your booty, girl, I know you want it. Baby, money ain't a thing, girl, you know I got it. Got me doing the money thing and shout it, call me about it. I guess the way that I be kicking, bitches fuck with me. These haters stay up on my trail, but they can't copy me. I'm running circles round the game, no monopoly. I do my own thing, nigga, you ain't fuck with me. No. I guess I'm on it, baby. Ah, shit. 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 I guess the way that I be kicking, bitches fuck with me. Ah, shit. I guess the way that I be kicking, bitches fuck with me. Ah, shit.
STMK Radio 100. 100.
It's getting harder to breathe. Chain smoking your love. Can't be good for my sanity. Can't be good for my lungs. Chain smoking your love. Chain smoking your love. I know my lease is up and the bailiff's at the door. And still I'm hanging on to the life we had before. I know this cold in love won't lead me to the Lord. Although getting harder to breathe. Chain smoking your love can't be good for my sanity. Can't be good for my lungs. Chain smoking your love. Chain smoking your love. Chain smoking your love. Chain smoking your love. We watched the water rising, waiting by the shore. Take me on top of the world and leave me on the floor. You say we're meant to be, but I've seen your older seed. I'll be a casualty when morning comes. Getting harder to breathe. Chain smoking your love can't be good for my sanity. Can't be good for my lungs. It's getting harder to breathe. Chain smoking your love can't be good for my sanity. Can't be good for my lungs. Chain smoking your love. Chain smoking your love. Chain smoking your love. Chain smoking your love.
An impeachment inquiry begins. I'm Jackie Quinn. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi announced the historic step after the allegation that President Trump pressured Ukraine's president for dirt about Joe Biden.
The president's betrayal of his oath of office, betrayal of our national security, and betrayal of the integrity of our elections.
Georgia Congressman John Lewis.
We will never find the truth unless we use the power given to the House of Representatives.
But President Trump calls it.
It's just a continuation of the witch hunt. It's the worst witch hunt in political history.
AP Radio News. I'm Tim McGuire. House Intelligence Committee Chairman Adam Schiff says the notes on President Trump's July call to Ukraine's president show Trump was trying to force Ukraine to investigate Joe Biden's son in order to help his political campaign.
We have the President of the United States engaged in a shakedown of a foreign president, a President of the United States, even as he is withholding vital military support to an ally, asking a favor of that ally to investigate his opponent.
Schiff says the call is one of the reasons for the impeachment inquiry ordered by House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. He adds his committee also wants to hear from the intelligence community whistleblower who filed a complaint with the Inspector General. South Carolina Republican Lindsey Graham says he has some questions for the whistleblower.
Who told you about the phone call if you were not on it yourself? Who is it in the system that went to this person? Why did they pick this person to tell about a phone call? And why did the whistleblower file a complaint about something they had no direct knowledge of?
President Trump is dismissing the latest as the single greatest witch hunt in American history. Juul Labs will no longer promote its e-cigarettes in print, digital, and TV advertisements, and it is replacing its CEO with an executive from Altria.
Actor Bill Cosby's been hit with a legal bill of nearly $3 million after he challenged a California arbitration award. The Grateful Dead mourning the death of its longtime lyricist, Robert Hunter. He was 78 years old.
Committee on the Judiciary will come to order.
The House Judiciary Committee is holding what it is labeling its first official impeachment hearing. First to testify, President Trump's former campaign manager, Corey Lewandowski. Vice President Mike Pence says, as President Trump has said, when it comes to Iran, the U.S. is locked and loaded. He says the U.S. is investigating the attack on major oil sites in Saudi Arabia. If Iran conducted this latest attack to pressure President Trump to back off, they will fail. The British government and its opponents are facing off in the UK Supreme Court in a high-stakes legal drama over Brexit that will determine whether new Prime Minister Boris Johnson broke the law by suspending Parliament at a crucial time ahead of Britain's impending departure from the European Union. Court records show a former security guard accused of compiling bomb components and guns to kill people at a Las Vegas synagogue and drawing up plans to attack a bar catering to LGBTQ customers has been indicted on federal firearms charge. I'm Ed Donahue.
It's time to take a break. Play me some Marvin Cease or some Marvin Gaye. Call me later because I won't be at home. I'm going out tonight because I feel like it, you know. I came out to have a good time. Yes, I did. That's all. Said I got my money and I got my whiskey. Because tonight, oh yeah, real tipsy. I'm not gonna sit around all night long. I'm gonna dance until the morning comes. I'm gonna let all of my troubles go. It's 2 a.m. in the morning and I'm ready for more. I came out to have a good time. Yes, I did. That's all. Said I got my money and I got my whiskey. Because tonight, oh yeah, real tipsy. Said I came out. Yes, I did. To have a good time. Yes, I did. That's all. Said I got my money and I got my whiskey. Because tonight, oh yeah, real tipsy. You see, all you want to do is go out and have a good time. You're not going out to pick up anybody, right? All you want to do is let go some frustrations because you've had a hard and a hell of a week. You got your money, you got your ride. Go ahead on and have yourself a good time. You know what I mean? This is what I'm trying to say. I came out to have a good time. Yes, I did. That's all. Said I got my money and I got my whiskey. Because tonight, oh yeah, real tipsy. I came out, yes I did. To have a good time. That's all. Oh yeah. Said I got my money and I got my whiskey. Because tonight, oh yeah, real tipsy. I've worked hard all week and it's time to take a break. Play me some Marvin Cease or some Marvin Gaye. Call me late because I won't be at home. I'm going out tonight because I want to get it on. I came out to have a good time. Yes, I did. That's all. Said I got my money and I got my whiskey. Because tonight, oh yeah, real tipsy. I came out, yes I did. To have a good time. That's all.
Hey, Thirst, can I try out a few Coke Summer sound effects on you? Yes. Cool. You okay with this? Yes. And this? Yes. And what about this? Yes. Ha! Gotcha there, Thirst. That wasn't sound effects. That was a Coke. I'm no longer thirsty. You're so out of here. Coca-Cola. Open happiness.
You know, ball players learn superstitions early. Some guys rub their bats for luck. Good kid. Some guys always wear rally hats. Others pat the catcher's head. Me, I take my relief pitcher to Pizza Hut before every game.
Now buy a Pizza Hut pizza and get a relief pitcher for just $2.49. Then get free Pepsi fill-ups all summer with any dinner-sized pizza to go. Every pitcher sold helps support Little League of America.
With a great relief pitcher, maybe you don't need superstitions.
Pizza Hut, bigger than great. This is Tassie Hawthorne from sunny California, and I listen to STMK Radio 100. Stop the madness. Keep it 100 on Facebook Live.
Warriors have only two paths. Get killed or get better.
Our blood is cheap here, so you'd better learn to adapt.
What do you want from me?
War is coming.
We're gonna take back our city!
This Chinatown bait. There's about 100 ways it can bury you. You do what you have to survive.
STMK Radio 100. You've been tuned in to Stop the Madness, keeping it 100 on STMK Radio 100. And now back to your host one more time, Shawn L, Let, and Tone the Stone.
Scare me to not wear this hat, my own friends, but this hat, it gives me power in a way. There was something about when I put this hat on, it made me feel like Superman. You made a Superman. That's my favorite superhero. just putting on a Make America Great hat on your head and talking about how it makes you feel like a superhero. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, people are suffering in this country, and the president has the cachet as the most powerful man in the free world to do something about that. And he got to sit there and get his ego stroked. Is something wrong with that? Nothing Kanye West did today was about the black community, but more importantly, nothing that President Trump did today was about the black community. It was about him and his fragile ego. The total distraction to elevate this president and to distract from the fact poor black and brown folks who don't have. Well, that's what he should have been dealing with. And our poor white sisters and brothers who are struggling. We got a Hurricane Trump in this country, knocking folks out everywhere we go. You want to talk about that Kanye West's presence in the Oval Office today help black people? That's a damn lie.
Was Nina Turner, ex-Senator Nina Turner. I'm going to be with her, October 15th at Oberlin University for the next Democratic debate. I'm going to be sitting right there with STMK Radio 100. We're going to be in the audience. Anderson Cooper will be narrating the CNN debate with Aaron Burnett and Mark Lacey. And, you know, I want to come to this right here for a second because tomorrow, STMK Radio and the Cleveland Browns are heading to Baltimore to turn the city of Baltimore orange. We got 3 bus loads and a couple of vans. We're going to be in Baltimore for the game Sunday, and we're going to really turn it out. I'm going to be down there taking pictures, and we're going to be broadcasting live.
They better win.
And for the Cleveland Browns. Also, you know, everybody, you know, we've been talking about the violence in Cleveland, and we're trying to put together the 1,000-man march. I want everybody, especially if you're a black man in the city of Cleveland, I want you to think about coming out and joining the 1,000-man march because we're going to go shut down the 4th District and 93rd Street. We got a lot of people that want to come in from out of town. We need the brothers inside the city to stand up.
Yeah, that really shouldn't be hard if you think about it.
Well, you know, we getting,
I agree.
You know, it's hard, Tom, because I'm going to say this. We got more people from out of state talking about coming in and doing it with us. If we can get 1,000 brothers here in Cleveland to come and sit down with us and do this, and do this rally, we probably can get about 5,000-6,000 people down there and set this coalition up to where
when is it?
People.
When is it? We got a date?
No, we don't have a date right now because we don't want to put a date out and be like we was with the 93rd rally when we did that, and you only got 6 or 7 people there.
Right. That's what I mean. I'm asking because I hadn't heard anything about it.
Yeah,
so
I haven't heard about it.
Well, we on social media and we kicking it around and we throwing it out there, and we got the NAACP. And y'all got to start looking at the station page and seeing what's rolling down there.
Some of us got jobs, Sean. You know, we not be tired.
Well, you know what? I feel, hey, I feel for you if you got a job. That means you ain't done something right. Okay, that means you got to still work.
Got to work.
Hey, cause you're tired. But you know, I want to talk about this right here because we got our Atlanta audience together. And they all listening in. Hey, everybody in the ATL and Savannah, Christina down Savannah, thanks for joining us. We're going to be talking about that case, Martyr case, and the big settlement that they had to pay out in a minute. But we got Saxman in the studio, and we gonna throw some stuff on Saxman today because if you've been listening to the Saxman show, you've been hearing Chasten Justice and Eric Jonathan Brewer, and they talking about professional continuous training of law enforcement officers here in the state of Ohio. And that show's been kicking out with a bunch of ratings, and it's going wild. So, Saxman, tell us what happened with the hearing and what's going on right now.
Sean, I just came by to get my mail, man. I didn't come here to work.
Well, you know, we got to make you work a little bit.
She came here to pick up my mail, man. I was about to head home.
It's his retirement check.
Yeah, come pick up. He gonna have me sit down here and talk about some stuff.
But tell us what's going on.
Well, I know from what I know in November, East Cleveland, the police departments, the police officers that are named in the indictment has to come back to court. They went to court last month. Miss Crenshaw was there. She's the complainant. Brought them into court. They had to explain to the judge why they are not up to date in their continuous but professional training. Why are they out in the streets performing police duties and they're not qualified or certified to do so? And when they got to court, they stumbled all over themselves like the Keystone Cops and try to figure out how they're going to get past this, because none of them had their certificates of training, none of them. And a lawyer, everyone was stumbling because they didn't think they was going to go as far as it did. They thought they was going to shut her down, and this woman is relentless. She's a beast. She get a latch on you. She ain't going to let go. She's like a pit bull.
Well, shouldn't that be on their supervisors, letting them go out there?
Well, no, the chief was there. The chief was there. I'm surprised the mayor ain't on the list, but they all know about the lack of training and the fact that they're not certified. They all know that, and they all had to come there. So the judge continue it until November. They have to come in there, and they got an answer to it. I believe criminal charges is going to be brought against them. I know one was brought against one of the officers. What's his name? Marche?
Yeah, but Marche was only referred. He didn't get a charge. And then I looked at the video from when she had her interview with the county prosecutor. And he said that if it came to murderers walking back the street versus police officers not being certified, he's going with the police officers.
Right.
I mean, there's two videos that we put up on our news page, and we put up one was with her in jail reform talking to O'Malley about this issue. But the second thing I want everybody to bring up in the speed is Michael Amiot was charged with a misdemeanor civil rights violation. And his case was supposed to start, but it's been delayed till after the election.
Does this stem from the first case?
Right. This is stem from the first case when he got into that violent arrest.
He beat that guy up.
Beat the guy down. And Tone said that was. And Amiot faced 2 counts of misdemeanor assault and 1 count of interfering with civil rights stemming from the August 12, 2017 arrest of Richard Hubbard III. But the problem I have with this is that if they could charge him with a misdemeanor, why didn't they charge him with the 15-year felony violation of rights situation?
Well, my opinion, and this is just my opinion.
All right, hold on, everybody. This is opinion, y'all.
This is my opinion. He didn't break any departmental rules, but the thing is, they got him on the fact that what he did. What I know, Tone, you're sitting over here squirming. Your drawers are tight.
I guess you got to say that as a police officer. So go ahead.
But,
I didn't mean to cut you off.
But Tone, Euclid did say that he was within their policy.
He was within policy,
but he just threw one too many punches. They said the first 3 punches was justified. The 4th punch wasn't. So you have to understand. But Tone, I understand what you say.
I understand what Tone going. But see, Tone have a habit. Every time I talk about police stuff, he want to get all crazy.
No, I just had to remind myself that you're a law enforcement.
But you got to understand.
Spokesperson from time to time.
Right. But I'm not the type of guy. I'm not going to hold up a cop if he actually did something completely wrong and is noticeable and is there. I'm not going to hold him up. I'm telling you that right now. I'm pro-police, but I'm about pro-right too as well. So he did beat the dude down pretty good, but he was within policy. So they didn't get him on that. They got him on the fact that his record, his past was just it was ugh. So they had to mess with him on that one. I guess to shut him down, slow him down, tell him, hey man, they got camera phones out here now. So you got to watch yourself. You got to calm the fuck down. You're beating motherfuckers.
Because if I remember, he had like 15
he had
use of force
use of
incidents within 2 years. So
he beat the girl up at the thing
to slow him down.
Yeah, he kind of beat the girl up. That was at the
beat the girl up. He beat the girl up at the he beat a
he did a lot
beat
of
girl in the library.
Yeah, so That's
well, what books are you trying to check out?
He wasn't checking out no shit.
Well,
She was checking out. He was working there. She was checking out. Well,
Well, I'm just telling when
she
you.
was running. She was running her mouth at the wrong person. That's what I'm saying. He want to know Heil Hitler's. So no, I take that back. But I'm saying, I don't think, just like the first case, he got his job back and back pay. I don't think too much is going to happen to him on this case either. It's just a shaking up. It's just to make the people who's complaining, it's appeasing them.
Right.
I don't think nothing really gonna happen, because if that's the case, they could have got him the first time if they was gonna make a big issue out of it. Because this is a misdemeanor, what they saying. So I don't think that's gonna happen.
What jurisdiction is this? I mean, what county?
City of Euclid,
City of
Euclid.
Okay.
But they only charge him with misdemeanors, so he has to go before the same judge that refused to issue the warrant on him. But I'm gonna.
That's why I'm saying I don't think that's going.
Right. So we want to go right here because we had 3 mass shootings. Tone. I don't think we're gonna get any gun control out of this.
Sean, 2 was in my zone just recently.
Well, no, I'm talking about the mass shootings, the one in El Paso.
Oh, because there was 2 in my zone.
Then you had Odessa, something.
Texas, Odessa,
Texas.
Yeah. And Dayton.
You had California. Then you had here in Ohio, Dayton, Ohio. And we want to send our condolences out to them. We haven't said too much about these shootings, but I want to come around the table real quick. And I want to ask you, Prince, while you're sitting here with us, what you think about gun control, where we need to be with to stop this gun violence in our cities?
Well, I think I go back to after Sandy Hook. I thought Sandy Hook was a turning point in this country in regards to seeing so many young children's lives snuffed out so early like they did and so violently. And I really thought there was a real big movement that gun control is going to take root and really get some changes are going to come about. And it didn't come about, and I was kind of disappointed about that. I'm still holding out hope that the angels of our better nature will prevail, and that it will get some sensible gun control laws into place. And I think universal background checks is very, very important. I just noticed that Saxman mentioned he would say he's pro-police, but also he pro-rights. I said, I don't know how you sleep at night. But interesting that he made that comment, so I had to throw it, interject that in there.
Who says I sleep?
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I wanted to sleep in that. But I really feel, and growing up as a young boy in Cleveland, Ohio, and now at 67 tomorrow, thank you so much. We never had a gun in our home. In there. I'm sure there's some guns in the house. Matter of fact, when Saxman came in, he had a gun. Hosted next to him, so that kind of made me nervous.
That wasn't gun. That was black licorice.
Okay, all right. So I'm definitely for gun control. Sean.
Where's the party at, Prince?
Yeah, it's in Atlanta.
You're always in Atlanta, baby.
Got holes in Atlanta. Got holes in Atlanta.
Oh, but okay. No, it's ladies in Atlanta.
Panda.
Hey, Saxman, can we get run out?
Get run out of the studio. Because we got family down there.
That you said Sandy Hook, you thought that would get things going.
Yes.
John, come up to the mic, man. They flashing.
Okay. You said Sandy Hook, and you thought that would get things going. Well, it's been too many shootings. I think people are kind of numb to that. And people were saying it at the time, but people are prisoners of the moment. They get emotional. It just happened. You know what I'm saying? But it's happened so much that people are kind of numb to it.
But I get it, but we can't normalize these things with how you start.
No, you're right. I'm talking about the reality that you're 100% right now. I feel you on that.
Okay.
We cannot normalize it, but the reality is it is normalized.
Yes, and that's the sad part about it. It's sad part about it because it's like a pall that has come over the country in a way that you hear about a shooting and you say, well, let's go to the next news cycle. And the next news cycle is something else far different, and you don't forget about what happened. But those people who have been traumatized and lost a cousin, a brother, a mother, or a sister, these folks are gone forever. They're not going to come back no more. and we just cannot wait for the next shooting.
I feel sorry for them because it has been normalized.
I'm interested in want to know what Tone got to say because he's sitting over here squirming.
Oh, I'm just listening.
Well, when Shawn go around the table, he'll get
I can't wait to hear what Tone got to say.
Well, John, move it to your mic a little bit and speak into the mic and tell me what you think about gun control.
John.
About gun control?
Right.
I think we should have
come into your mic because
honestly, I don't
Just shove it in your face and keep it.
I don't think if a person really wants to go out and kill some people, the gun control is going to stop them. You said it before. Let's make it harder for them. Well, if they really want to do something, they're going to do it.
It's already hard.
Well, they want to spin it off on mental illness. That's
exactly. They
want to spin it on mental illness. But if you start selling these high-powered AR-15s and these weapons of war, they were made for war. I tell you something, it would definitely send a clear message across the country and around the world too that the United States is not open for the business of killing other human beings.
Well, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna jump over the millennium. I want to say this.
That isn't true.
These last two shootings that was in my zone was not by no AR-15s. They was by handguns. So stopping AR-15s is not gonna stop murder.
Well, we're not talking about mass shootings.
It's gonna stop.
You're not gonna stop murder.
It's gonna stop the crazy white people that got all these assault weapons and going and shooting all these people in gun-free zones. Now, this is my opinion on gun control. Stop making gun-free zones because all these mass killings happen in gun-free zones. Now, if you got gun-free zones, people that are living or working or being in gun-free zones are the ones that's obeying those laws. The ones that's getting shot are the ones that disobeying those laws, coming into the gun-free zones with guns and shooting people without guns that got license to carry, but they following the rules of no guns in this building, no guns in this location, no guns here, gun-free zone. So I'm gonna use an example. There was a young black woman that went to dinner with her mother and father. They went to I'm gonna say Crackle Barrel, sitting down eating. A crazy gunman came into the place, started shooting people. The young black girl has a CCW, but left her gun in the car because it was a gun-free zone. Don't bring no guns in here. She left her gun in the car, following the rules. The gunman who broke the rules with the gun came in, shot up everybody, and walked over where she was holding her mother and father. They were still alive. The gunman was standing there. He went to reload. She reached to reach in her holster and realized her gun is in the car. The man reloaded and shot both her parents in front of her. She had to run and hide. She said on I forget what news media it was. She said had she had to do over again, she'll say fuck that gun-free zone, and both her parents would be alive today because she would have had that weapon on her to protect her family against that crazy gunman who broke the law, came in there in a gun-free zone and shot him. So I say, do away with gun-free zones, allow people to carry, because if you got people carrying in areas where mass shootings occur, you got somebody that can return fire and stop the killer.
But let me ask you this question. Wait a minute, John. Just because you got a gun don't mean you're going to stop the shooting.
That's at least you can engage the gunman. Don't sit there and watch both your parents get murdered and you couldn't return fire.
Hold on, let me say this.
Go ahead, John.
These people were not trained for military action. So they might freeze up.
The young girl was. The girl was.
I'm saying, but that's just one case.
And she left her gun in the car, obeying the law.
But what I'm saying is this, Saxman. You know how many law enforcement? We just had a California State Highway Patrol officer and California State Highway Patrol get into a gunfight with a male. Okay, and they're highly trained and qualified shooters, and he took them out. You had the case in L.A. Just because you have a gun, don't mean you're going to solve the problem. But wait a minute, hold on, because you have a black Marine that was in the Waffle House when a gunman came in to kill everybody, and he disarmed the gunman and took his gun from him.
So did you see the cell phone store clerk a video on Facebook? The guy came in, the black guy came in to rob the cell phone owner, And while he was fumbling with his gun to shoot the cell phone owner pulled out his gun and took the guy out.
Well, you can go to the. You can go.
That's
to,
stores. That's
so wait. The good guy took out the bad guy.
Right, but that's in the spur of the moment.
Self-defense.
But that ain't always.
He wasn't a victim.
But that ain't always how it goes down.
But that happened.
Keep talking, Saxman. I'm gonna go over to your holster.
Get your gun. You ain't gonna be able to get it out by holster. You know, I got level 3. You ain't gonna get it out.
See, this is the thing what everybody has to understand. Like in Atlanta.
You're not trained.
You're not trained. You can't get it.
Wait a minute, hold on. In Atlanta, you had a case where the 3 masked kids tried to rob the homeowner, and the homeowner
took him out with an AR-15.
So it goes back. No, he didn't have an AR-15.
Yeah, he did. He had an assault weapon.
Well,
he had an AR-15 because the neighbor said he heard it and he knows his neighbor.
Well, I don't think the police said that. I think the police said that he had a pistol.
No, the neighbor was interviewed, and the neighbor said he knows his neighbor.
Let me say this. The Jeanette County said that he pulled out a handgun. So we got to check that, but we'll check that.
He had an assault weapon. Well, it's an AR-15 is not an assault weapon.
But anything's an assault weapon.
Anything's an assault weapon. All right? My cell phone's an assault weapon. If I assault you with it.
No, the difference between assault weapon, an AR-15 or the MP and all that, it's military grade weapons. That's considered assault weapon. A handgun, if you put the extended clip in there, that can be considered
Sean, check this out.
to go down.
The 3 gunmen that came there to shoot him, shot at him, missed him.
Right.
He's a trained professional with his assault weapon and took all 3 of them out.
But this is the thing.
He wasn't no victim in his house.
But see, this is the thing I'm telling you, Saxman.
The hell with gun control.
So it was good that he had an assault rifle?
No, it was good that he had a weapon to protect himself.
But Saxman,
that's what it's good.
But everybody does. It doesn't happen like that all the time. Okay.
No.
So
we talking in general about gun control.
So
I'm telling you.
When you look
I feel about gun control.
And when you look at
taking away my gun is going to put my life in jeopardy because a criminal is not going to follow the rules.
But Saxman, when you look at this, okay, gun control comes back.
That makes you a criminal too if you don't follow the rules.
Right. And then when you look at this right here, if you're in a gun-free zone or an establishment that tell you not to bring your gun in, and I'm sitting there eating dinner.
And you left your gun in the car.
Wait a minute. I'm not even talking about a gun crime. I said that I'm sitting in an establishment where the sign says, do not bring your weapon in, and I'm sitting there with my kids eating. You could turn into a felon, okay, because you can be arrested, okay, your weapon taken, your license taken from you for entering into those premises. The classic example is the mother that was at the skating ring in Wycliffe when the fight broke out, and she was a CCW carrying person, and she walked into the skating ring with her CCW and with her weapon on her and her license, okay? And somebody threw a brick at her, and she pulled her weapon out, okay? They arrested her for being on the premises with a firearm. So you have to understand is it goes.
I bet you got it back.
It goes both ways. No, because you know what? The police departments, they take your guns. They don't give them back to you.
I know some people that have.
You have to go.
I know some that have.
You have to go get your license. I mean, you might lose your license. You have to go get a lawyer because I can tell you in the city of Cleveland or the marshals, if they take your gun, the only way you getting that gun back if a judge order them to. They don't follow the law. Okay, so it has to turn around. But on that issue of gun control, everybody has an opinion of gun control. Each situation is different.
Yes.
You can go into situations where people had guns and stop people from shooting up places. You can go into situations where people had guns and they started shooting at a person that had a gun and they end up killing somebody, okay? You got situations where homeowners have guns where they get their guns taken from them and used on them, okay? So it comes back down to who trained with a gun, how you handle your weapon, what you do at the time when the shit hit the fan. Because, see, everybody can talk about what I'm going to do when the shootings start. Okay, I've been in 5 shootings, and everybody talk about, we're going to do this when the shooting starts. I'm going to do this, but let me tell you something. I watch police officers run when the shit hit the fan.
Because they was pussy from the start.
I'm not gonna call no. I'm not gonna call. I'm not gonna call nobody out.
I never ran when the shooting started. I never ran.
Well, see, you can't put yourself in a personal situation. Well, but I'm gonna tell you this: as being, I didn't watch the run, and I didn't watch people put some heat down on police officers where they had to break camp or they wouldn't be here right now.
You can't call a person pussy because they want to save their
Right.
lives.
Right.
Sometimes when you're outpowered, it's time to run.
Wait a minute. If
and you know what? And you know what, John? You just said the right thing. There's no dishonor in retreating back, because if a person got an AK-47 or AR-15,
well, that's a different story.
Okay,
that's
and all you got is a 9mm. Well, you don't know, because you can't dictate what you're going to get into as a law enforcement officer. You just like the California State Highway Patrol officer that got killed by that guy, and he ended up shooting 2 other police officers and getting into the big shootout. He stopped him for a traffic stop. They're sitting out there on the bike. The guy's standing there. He's talking to the guy. The guy asked him, can he get his bag out of the thing?
Out of the back of the trunk.
And the guy says, okay, grab your bag, because he's standing right there to get the bag. But he walks over there, and out of the side of the compartment he don't know nothing about, he pulls out an AR-15. You don't know what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
You got to follow your training and the rules.
Now, what would you do in that situation, John?
But my rules is, once I take you from the car, you don't go back to the car.
Right.
Okay? And I get whatever you want. The second thing, officer on a motorcycle, if I'm going to tow your car and I'm on a motorcycle, then I'm going, before I do anything,
I'm calling for another car.
I'm going to get a car there to get you situated or get you walking away. Okay? But that's something that I want everybody to think about. Tony Stone, I'm sorry I got to leave you on that right there, because we're going about an hour.
It's all good.
But, I want to go right into this case.
Tom was going to agree with me anyway.
I want to go on this case right here, the Metropolitan Atlanta Rapid Transit Authority Mass Transit System. And they lost a big mass award to the professor sitting here. The professor had to get like 3 different lawyers to go into this award. The union sold them out on it and didn't properly represent them. And Professor, tell us what's going on with what happened with that.
Well, first thing is it's over. That's for sure. That's the first thing. It's over with. But it was a 7.5-year fight with MARTA in Atlanta, which is the equivalent of what you have here in Cleveland with RTA in the transit industry. MARTA is a company of 5,000 employees, and I had been there for a number of years, and I was down at the biggest hub station, which is the 5 Point station downtown. An incident happened on January the 5th of 2012. That seemed like it was out of the ordinary, where the superintendent, a white male, put his hands on me, grabbed me in a meeting in front of 2 other supervisors, and one was black and another was white. And I turned to him and I said to him, don't you ever put your hands on me again in your life. And 2 months later, they came up with some bullshit in regards to saying that I allegedly called a guy by the complexion of Tone a boy.
High yellow.
No, I just said the complexion of Tone. Okay. Then I called him a boy. And I couldn't understand why was the company so racially sensitive. But one African American allegedly supposed to call another African American a boy. So it wasn't investigated, but they ran roughshod on me. We used a word back here in the inner city of Cleveland back in the day called railroad. As a matter of fact, it was a guy in the street named Railroad. And so I was railroaded out of my job after so many months and not investigated. And I filed charges with the EEOC. And subsequently, I was escorted off the properties at MARTA back in December of 2012. Hence, when the long fight started from December 10th, of 2012, and it concluded in January of 2019, where they came to my attorneys, one of the multiple attorneys that I had, and they decided they wanted to settle. And boy, did they have to give up the ghost. But the question came in about union representation, the duty of fair representation, and I'm not sure those individuals out there who are with unions, whether you with a large company, with a police organization, or you with a organization that has a contractual agreement with your employer, and you've been an employee, but you must understand that there are certain rights and bargaining agreements that had to be adhered to, and one of the things that falls up under the duty of fair representation, I'll share with our audience.
But let me ask you this question.
Yes, sir. Go right ahead.
Let me ask you this question right here. What rights do we have if the union does not properly represent us or hold up our contract or hold up my rights with my employer?
You as a union member have a right to sue the union. You have a right to sue the union. Now, the union don't have your monies, so to speak, right hand stuff, but they have a fiduciary responsibility to represent you fairly, and that falls up under what they call the LMRDA. That is called the Labor Management Reporting and Disclosure Act of 1959. Some people know it as the Landrum-Griffin Act. Is the United States labor law that regulates labor unions' internal affairs and their officials' relationship with employers. This law was enacted by the 86th United States Congress, and the duty of fair representation is incumbent upon U.S. labor unions that are the exclusive bargaining representative of workers in a particular group. It is the obligation to represent all employees fairly, in good faith, and without discrimination. The union cut deals with the company where certain people they'll let back into their workforce, and certain people they would just like have them hanging out there. So certain deals were cut in my regards because they wanted me out, and that's why I had to go to outside counsel. But during this time, I've also made sure I put it on record. I wrote everybody in top management about what was going on, and no one bothered to address it or respond to me. But once outside counsel got involved, things turned around, what have you. So I would recommend that those individuals who are out there who are union members, you can support your union, but make sure you put people in a place who are going to fight for you. I mean, really fight for you and not bullshit you. And this was a 7.5-year ordeal that has come to a conclusion, and in my favor. And it took a lot out of me during that time. I suffered a heart attack. I suffered other medical ailments that kind of undermined my health. But by the grace of God, I'm still here and to talk about it. And I told Shawn L that such time I come back to Cleveland, that I would give them an exclusive on this story. There's a lot of information here. We wanted to go to trial, but a lot of things would have came out, and a lot of names would have got mentioned. But they decided they want to settle that back in January, and of late, the documents and stuff have now been drawn up and now being executed, what have you stuff. So it was a good thing all the way around.
So when you look at that, and the union signed a deal, made a deal behind your back and signed some stuff off on you. When the new lawyer came in, did that deal get voided, or what happened with that?
Yes, that deal was voided. It was a piece of crap. The attorney, I can mention his name, Mr. Buckley, stated that he said Mr. Sanders is initially early on in the spring of February of 2016, before he undertook the case. But I had already stepped out to him back in April of 2012, and he's told me in a conversation, and he didn't mix any words. He said, Mr. Sanders, I'm not representing you at this time, but I'm reluctant to have you sign this agreement because the monies that they were mentioning were small in amount and not comparative in regards to the time I had been out. And so my signature was not fixed on the documents, but it turns out that doing an open records request in May of 2018, records were uncovered, 86 in total, 86 documents in total were uncovered, where they uncovered the same agreement that was presented to me in its entirety was uncovered, that the union representatives, mainly the president and vice president and 2 officials from the company, had signed off on, and my signature had been, my name, not my signature, my name, where I was supposed to have signed, was removed.
So when you look at when you look at the union representation right there, how many blacks were in your union, or do you really know?
The union was Amalgamated Transit Union Local 732, and it was predominantly African American union. It had a lot of African Americans there. Wow. I think if we had white membership, some great sisters and brothers there, we had no more than maybe 100. I can never count them at one time.
So this was your brothers and sisters running the underhanded stuff on you.
Correct.
With the company.
Correct.
So when you look at this case and the first lawyer you got didn't give you justice, so you had to go back and get a second lawyer.
Correct. I had one lawyer who had when I had the after the EOC investigation had concluded, I was given a letter to write to sue the company, which we filed the case in U.S. District Court in Atlanta. But the lawyer that I had somehow was involved in some underhanded things, and apparently they didn't respond to the federal courts, and subsequently the case was dismissed for lack of prosecution by the attorney I have. And so then I went after that lawyer for legal malpractice, and that brought me to another attorney. And the another attorney that I had, that attorney helped me walk me through a process for a short period of time. Now that attorney works for the company. So now I had to get another attorney, and that attorney couldn't be bought because they had a large firm, and they was able to withstand the pressures of being undermined, what have you stuff.
Could you say the name of the company you work for?
Yeah, you mentioned it. MARTA. Metropolitan Atlanta Rapid Transit Authority.
Okay.
So when you look at this case, and this is the reason that we really broadcast this case, is because there are a lot of union individuals that the union doesn't properly represent you, that isn't able to go through that long fight and have to accept whatever happens.
That's correct, sir.
And can't afford to actually get the attorneys or everything, because everybody don't want to sue the government agencies. So
let me say this to Shawn. We're not rich people. Those workers that work for a company, for MARTA, for any company. We're not rich folks. We just every day walk around, as Bill Clinton calls us, just every day walk around people. We had jobs, we had homes, we had families, and we had little things associated with us. We might have had a car or two, and we had maybe had a little business or what have you stuff. You lose your job. All of us are one paycheck away from being in the streets. By the grace of God, go out, and friends who supported me, mainly, you know who Al and Michelle. I had friends that supported me and helped me out and what have you stuff. And the fact that I had to wear to all to keep pushing on and to get the proper legal representation.
Were you out of pocket for any of that?
Yes.
Was it a whole lot, or did your union dues or anything take care of any?
When you going through an arbitration process and a grievance process, you're still technically employed, but you're not receiving any income from the company itself. So I was like in a limbo situation. So whatever monies I can generate on my own, I did. I got nothing from the company.
Oh.
But they had to once everything had concluded, and to my satisfaction, then I had to be made what they call made whole. You're talking 7.5 years.
So you get all that back pay
and a big settlement. Ooh, but you know what? Everybody hold that.
Can I get a loan, man?
Hold that thought right there, everybody.
Fan base is big, I can't lose. Sugar bow down, I'm the next to rule, but I'ma stay on the cool, remain on the under, cause like Andre 3000, your boy's ice cold. Ain't no limit to the gimmicks and ways to make money. No limit to the just to act funny when you get that cake, cause you spit that way. They may love you tomorrow when they hate you today, but yo, that's the way the story goes, so I was told. Following the rainbow down the yellow brick road, please believe at the end ain't no pie to go. There's some platinum beats from the Cleveland streets.
Hey, season 4 is kicking it right there. Okay, let's go to the phone lines for a minute here. I want everybody to understand what right there, hicking and kicking and everything, touching.
Prince kicked the line, that's what he did.
You know, season 4 is kicking in. I want everybody to understand. We want to thank y'all for being with us, especially those 48 cities and Barbary Coast Radio in Oklahoma. Thank you for being our sister broadcast on the West Coast. Michael Wilkins in L.A., thank you for being with us. Prince.
I thought it was Russell Wilkins.
It was good for you to be with us, Prince, coming all the way from the ATL to come back down here in Studio 51. We're so proud to have you, man. And,
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We're going to get you back on the phone. You know you're going to be back with us once you get back home. And we got a lot of politics to talk.
Yes, we do.
Jay Mack from the shop. The gossip is rolling big time. Jay, how you doing over there?
I'm blessed. I'm just happy to be back on vacation, man.
That's right, Jay. We want you back right there. Tone the Stone, the Cleveland Diamond boy.
Yeah, I'm great to be back too. I'm glad we're back on the air. I can't wait to enjoy season 4. It's good to see Saxman, man.
Yes, it is.
Been
Yeah.
MIA forever, man. And Prince, welcome back, you too.
I'm so happy.
You still didn't tell me where the party was before you leave.
The
town.
party is between Cleveland, Atlanta, on the plane.
On the plane.
Hey, we got Saxman in the house. Saxman, what's up?
Soul plane, right? Ain't nothing going on. Just stay tuned to Chase of Justice on the East Cleveland trial. It's happening in November. If you want to get with me, inbox me. I'll give you more information on it later on.
Hey, right there, I want everybody to know October the 15th, we're going to be at Oberlin University with Nina Turner and the Democrats as their debate here in Ohio take place. Remember the 1,000-man march that we want you to come out for us. And I want everybody to know, come Sunday, I want to see you in Baltimore when we turn the city orange. And I want everybody to come out and support the Cleveland Browns. And next week, we're going to have Sergeant Kennedy B. Jones from the Cleveland Police Department in studio. We're going to be talking some heavy issues from shootings, murders, and the new policy that's going on. I want everybody to know I'm your host, Shawn L. Thank you for being with us, and I'll see you later.
You've been listening to